The Maurya and Gupta empires. These are empires in southern Asia, India today, modern India today. Quick overview. By employing a carefully organized bureaucratic system, the Maurya and Gupta empires were able to maintain security and political unity across large parts of Western and Southern Asia. This bureaucratic system included a common economic system that supported stable agriculture across vast land holdings and successful trade and commerce. Through centralized authority, which included a powerful military, the rulers of these empires bound together the previously fractured regions of the Indian subcontinent. So let's get started with the unification and the military. Before the Mauryan Empire, the Indian subcontinent was fragmented into hundreds of kingdoms that were ruled by powerful regional chiefs who were engaged in warfare using their small armies. In 327 BC, Alexander the Great of Macedon, remember that Greek, and his troops entered India and overran the existing kingdoms in the Punjab region. He left after only 2 years, but his destruction of the regional powers opened the opportunity for other groups to seize control. The first group, the Kingdom of Magadha, used their military to gain control of trade routes through the Ganges Valley and the sea routes to the Bay of Bengal. Soon, however, Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the Maurya Empire, successfully seized control of Magadha. He started on the outskirts and eventually made his way to the heart of the kingdom. Eventually, he gained control of northwestern India and Bactria, what is today Afghanistan, and was at that time controlled by the Greeks. Chandragupta Maurya successfully unified the Indian subcontinent under an empire. Chandragupta ruled from 324 to 297 BC, before voluntarily giving the throne up to his son, Bindusar, who ruled from 297 BC until his death in 272 BC. This led to a war in which Bindusara's son Ashoka defeated his brother and rose to the throne in 268 BC, eventually becoming the most successful and powerful ruler of the Maurya dynasty. Ashoka, the most successful ruler of the Maurya dynasty. Chandragupta, founder of the dynasty. His grandson Ashoka, the most powerful ruler of it. The Mauryan army, the largest standing military force in the world at the time, supported the expansion and defense of the empire. According to scholars, the empire wielded 600,000 infantry or foot soldiers, 30,000 cavalry, horseback soldiers, 9,000 war elephants, and a vast spy network collected intelligence for both internal and external security purposes. Although Emperor Ashoka renounced offensive warfare and expansionism after converting to Buddhism, he maintained his standing army and protected the empire from external threats, and maintained stability and peace across Western and Southern Asia. This extensive army was made possible partly through an intricate web of administration. One of Chandragupta's advisors had instituted a series of detailed procedures, which Ashoka inherited. Ashoka established a capital at the walled city of Pataliputra, which served as the centralized hub of the empire. Officials made decisions about how to collect taxes from the central treasury, which funded the military and other governmental jobs. So, about that centralization and taxation. Centralized government also came in handy when emperors had to deal with trade and farming. Chandragupta Maurya established a single currency across India, a network of regional governors and administrators, and a civil service to provide justice and security for merchants, farmers, and traders. Though the disciplined central authority of the Mauryan Empire Through the disciplined central authority of the Mauryan Empire, farmers were freed of regional kings' tax and crop collection burdens. Instead, they paid through a nationally administered system of taxation. The system operated under the principle of Arashastra, an ancient Indian treaty that included advice on how to collect taxes, administer trade and agricultural resources, manage diplomacy, and even how to wage war. It was like a how-to book. During his rule, Ashoka also made his laws clear in the central public spaces on rock and pillar edicts, stone slabs that alerted citizens to the rules that governed them. The Mauryan Empire was strict in revenues collection, but it also funded numerous public works projects to enhance productivity. Ashoka sponsored the construction of thousands of roads, waterways, canals, rest houses, hospitals, and other types of infrastructure. Good things to have in an empire. The Maurya Empire's political unity and internal peace encouraged the expansion of trade in India. During Ashoka's reign, government oversaw the building of major roadways, and the Mauryan international network of trade expanded. India's exports to places like Bactria and Persia included silk, textiles, and spices. Textiles is clothing. Bactria is Afghanistan today. Dissolution of Maurya and the rise of the Gupta Empire. The Maurya Empire began to dissolve with Ashoka's death. Costly salaries for soldiers and government officials ended up bankrupting the central treasury. In place of an expansive empire, local rulers began to take charge of smaller regions, placing themselves strategically along trade routes. The future leaders of the Gupta dynasty arose out of these small kingdoms a few centuries later. They conquered many regions of the former Maurya Empire and forged alliances with kingdoms that chose not to fight against them. The Gupta Empire was founded by Sri Gupta sometime between 240 and 280 AD. Sri Gupta's son and successor, Ghatochacha, ruled from 280 to 319. Chandragupta, Ghatochacha's son, ascended the throne around 319 and ruled until 335 AD. Samudragupta succeeded his father Chandragupta in 335 AD and ruled for about 45 years. By his death in 380 AD, Chandragupta had incorporated over 20 kingdoms into his realm and extended the Gupta Empire from the Himalayas to the Narmada River in central India and from the Brahmaputra River to the Yamuna, the longest tributary of the Ganges in northern India. So all the good trade areas, all the waterways. The map here shows the empire around 600 AD. After gaining power, Chandragupta II expanded the Gupta Empire through conquest and political marriages until the end of his reign in 413 AD. By 335 AD, his control over India extended coast to coast. Just like Ashoka, Chandragupta II made Pataliputra the capital of his empire and centralized the government there. He used tribute money from allies to fund government projects and salaries. Under unlike Ashoka, Chandragupta II did not rely on a network of spies or closely monitor the affairs of foreigners or allies. Instead, he let regions make their own decisions about administration and local governance, a hands-off approach. Indirect rule. Some scholars have argued that the Gupta Empire was a golden age of India. The empire was marked by peace and public safety. The scholars flourished in the environment this provided. Kalidasa, a poet at the time, is considered the greatest poet and dramaticist of the Sanskrit language. Aryabhata, who lived during the Gupta Empire, was the first of the Indian mathematician astronomers who worked on the approximation of pi. Vish- Vishnu Sharma is thought to be the author of the Pachatatra fables, one of the most widely translated non-religious books in history. The Gupta Empire ended with the invasion of the White Huns, a nomadic tribe of people from Central Asia, at the end of the 5th century AD. Until the 6th century, there was no unifying empire. Regional political kingdoms ruled India. So tell me what you think. How did the Ashoka use the military, and in what ways was it bad for his image as a ruler? What did India look like politically before the Mauryan Empire rose to power? Would it be beneficial for Mauryan rulers to have a population that was able to read? Why? How was the nationally administered system of taxation helpful to citizens of the Mauryan Empire? What did they do with that tax money? And why do you think the Gupta Empire may have been the golden age?